Well, hello and welcome to everyone joining us here today. I'm Fiona Langsharp, IBCLC Director of Communications and MC here at Gold Learning. Well, today we are back talking about our upcoming Gold Lactation Online Conference 2021. And of course, we're getting very excited because we have an opportunity to sit down with our presenters, talk and ask them questions about themselves. And it's just been a wonderful journey so far. And I'm very excited today to be sitting down with Dr. Mwamba. Welcome. It is so good to have you here. We have been working together and learning together on this journey as well, Muswamba. And I really appreciate your topic. But we'll talk about that, of course, in just a moment. But first of all, please introduce yourself to our Gold Lactation family and tell them a little bit about yourself and where you are in the world.
Okay, I consider myself a citizen of the world because I lived in 3 continents for quite some time. So I was born in Congo, Zaire back then, and then it's from Congo that my interest of health. My father being a pediatrician, he didn't see people, kids who were sick, but it was because they were malnourished.
Mm-hmm.
And for that reason, I want to put my father out of business by promoting health by producing food. So I went to Belgium
Uh-huh.
to study agriculture engineering so I can learn how to produce food. But when I finished my master in agriculture engineering, I specialized in biochemistry of human nutrition. I realized that knowing what the food does and producing on the field, there is something that is missing, is how you bring the food from the field to the plate.
Mm-hmm.
And I did a second master at Ghent, which is a Ghent University. It's a Dutch-speaking university in Belgium.
Mm-hmm.
So I did a master in food science and technology. So having all this scientific information, I thought I was good to go in the world. And when I was ready to go back home, there was a civil war.
Mm-hmm.
So I could not go back to Congo. And the next step was, let's go to America, the land of the free. So I came here to pursue my education. I went to Columbia University studying a doctorate in nutrition education. That's where my paradigm shift, the way I see things in terms of health change. In Congo, when you are poor, you are skinny because you're malnourished. So the plump you are, the better, healthier. But
Mm-hmm.
when I came to the United States, the poorer you are, the fat you were. So that's like, oh, doesn't make sense because in Congo we want to be fat, but in the United States, the richer you are, the skinnier you are. So those shifts came to me. So I start asking myself questions because of the why I didn't understand that. The second thing that came to America was the health disparity.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand why United States people who have all American, but because of the area they live or because of the zip code they are in, they just don't have the same health.
Right.
So for me, it was intriguing. So that's
Mm-hmm.
what my journey of public health started. First, I thought if I know science, science will be enough to give solutions.
Right.
But later on, I found that health is not about molecules. Health is about where you live, what you do, where you work. So my journey to try to understand health disparity, to try to understand health in the United States, to try to understand why African American have this health profile, why American Indian have this profile, and so that's where I went back to school. Not because I wanted to know, it's because I have to find a solution because I had opportunity to lead people, and you cannot lead people in terms of public health if you've never been where you want them to be. So I did my master degree in public health and my doctorate in public health.
Wow. I mean, it's quite the journey. When I had read that you were from the Congolese and then you went to Belgium, why was it Belgium that you went to, by the way, Muswamba?
We have a very close relationship or historical relationship between Belgium, Congo, and Belgium, because Congo was the private property of King Leopold.
Right.
So after the colonization, so we have a very close relationship. So for Congolese, it was very easy to think Belgium
Mm,
than to think France or to think United States.
yeah.
That's why it was easy for me for my education. It was a natural transition to go to
Hmm.
Belgium. I didn't have any challenge because we have the same heritage, I would say.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's wonderful. And does that continue today? Because I hear a lot about folks going from the Congo to Belgium. So do they still have that sort of agreement?
The agreement is not that I think there is a relationship
Mm,
because Congolese may say they don't like Belgium, but have that relationship, right?
hmm. Yeah.
But today, the world is smaller. So we have
Right.
Congolese everywhere, but the majority will be thinking going to Belgium first. But because Europe is open now,
Hmm.
you will find Congolese everywhere.
Right.
But the first reflex will be to go to Congo. But
Yeah.
now we find Congolese everywhere. In my time, it was normal to go to Belgium
Right.
because we speak French. But
Yeah.
to come to study in the United States, that means you have to learn another language, which was a second barrier.
Yeah.
And also, it was the education system is completely different.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing. That's amazing. Okay. So now here you are, and you have studied the molecules. You have studied how it gets to the table. You have studied these things. Now you're really immersing yourself in public health. When did you start thinking about the aspects of now what happens innate for the newborn at the breast? So now you're
see,
thinking about the first food. When did this happen?
see, when I was doing my doctorate at Columbia, I had the opportunity to also work. They recruited me to work for the WIC program. The WIC,
Ah, yes.
it's women, infant, and children. It was in New
Mm-hmm.
York. So
Mm-hmm.
when I got there, I was fascinated with formula
Mm-hmm.
because there were so many of them. So when people came, I want to get prepared to explain what formula does. So I start studying formula.
Right.
And I came at the time that they were putting lipids, infamil lipids. They were putting those amino acid, no amino acid, ARA and arachidonic acid. I mean,
Right.
for the brain.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So I start studying why this formula works, why this one is constipated, what is the progestamine, what is Elacare, and
Mm-hmm.
what is. By studying that, so I can be a resources to the parents. I was wondering who they were copying.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, there is so many paper written on infamil lipol, on nitrogen, and things like that. But the goal was to mimic human milk.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, okay, let me see what is human milk. So I started studying human milk, and I went back and trying to understand why formula came as a food. Going back to Nestle and Johnson and Min Johnson at the
Mm-hmm.
beginning of the century, and I'm like saying, oh, this was written for kids who were sick. It was not written for people who were healthy or baby who were healthy.
Mm-hmm.
So when did the shift started? So from
Mm-hmm.
55, United States, at least the level of mom who were breastfeeding was going down until 72.
Mm-hmm.
So when I started studying human milk, I got fascinated by human milk at the molecular level, at what it does and what it protects. So now my goal was not to educate people on get Nutramigen or Elacare. I was like, you need to consider first human milk,
Mm-hmm.
unless there is a problem that your baby maybe cannot digest, I don't know, because of galactosemia or something.
Mm.
But human milk is the gold standard because he has I used to say it's like your blood but with different structure because
Right.
it's alive. Formula is
Mm-hmm.
dead, but this is alive. So
Mm-hmm.
that's where my journey started. And being a supervisor at a clinic, I changed the culture of
Mm.
my clinic.
Wow.
So now, everybody, because I start educating my fascination of
Mm-hmm.
human milk to my staff,
Right.
which also came from the community I was serving, which some of them never breastfed.
Mm-hmm.
So my fascination was so that from the receptionist to the lab person, they all knew that if you are not considering breastfeeding, it's gonna get you.
Right.
So, and that was the reputation that the clinic was creating, and then that led me to more study and invitation. And at one point, they say, "Why you're not an IBCLC?" I mean, what is that? Well, what is that? They say, "No,
Right.
you are promoting breastfeeding. You should do that test." I'm like, "If you pay for it, I'll do it." And then I did it, and I passed it with flying colors, and I became one. And then that also created a challenge because I was a male. I was black,
Yes.
and my peer counselor didn't want me to work with them. They say, you're not touching my mom." So now I start working on breastfeeding support.
Yes.
How father can support mom to be
Hmm.
a breastfeeding mother. So the
Yeah.
journey start working with men
Wow.
because of my credentials. So we create the program called the Peer Dad program, which was the only one in the nation. We started in
Oh.
2008.
Uh-huh.
And then in 2011, I even saw a paragraph on uh, the Surgeon General, Regina was a Surgeon General at that time, and wrote this 2011 blueprint for
Mhm.
breastfeeding. And then there was a paragraph talking about Texas. I was like, there is nobody in Texas than me.
Right.
so, so they were like, this is me talking about, because we started that program of really equipping father and
Sure.
how to support, educate father so they can be supportive for the mom breastfeeding, not only choices, but breastfeeding success.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Well, I mean, what a journey. This is amazing because I think that, I mean, it's always interesting hearing people's experiences and how they, have cultivated their life over the years and where they came to. But yours is definitely a wonderful story to hear about where you have landed. And of course, that's one of the reasons you are here today, is because we're having you at our Gold Lactation Conference this year. And definitely, this is one of the topics for me personally has come up over and over the last couple of years. I have talked to many supporters of fathers, that are looking to get this highlighted. So I'm so appreciative that you're here again talking about it. So I'm just going to read your title again. What role do fathers' cultural experiences play in the decision to support breastfeeding? And so this is going to be, I know, I mean, I have, of course, seen a little bit of your presentation already. So I know I'm excited and looking forward to it as well. But perhaps just tell us just a very small snippet of what our delegates should look forward to.
Yeah. The reason I thought about the culture is because being African American,
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to help African American. And then I was reminded that I was not African American,
Right.
because I look phenotypically African American, I look black,
Sure.
but my culture was different.
Yeah.
My way of thinking, my perception were different. That is the reason I wanted to explore, to see in their mind,
Mm-hmm.
to see first in my mind what were my limit, what was my blessings, what was my reward, so I
Sure.
can express myself well, so I can impact um, my fellow American, my fellow African American.
Mm-hmm.
So that was I would say, if you neglect culture, if you
Right.
neglect your social, your experience, you will not be able to impact. But that's good when you say that, but you have to find a way to measure it.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want it. I didn't want it to be an opinion. That's why I
Right.
went to set up some. I need a framework so I can really measure
Mm-hmm.
if there was a difference between the population, and what was a similarity, and how you can take that and
Mm-hmm.
create something that is meaningful that can impact the community,
Yeah. No,
the
this can.
person, and then the community.
Yeah, no, this is going to be great because I know you're going to be providing us also some tools and some clarity on this. And to me, it's very important. I mean, I currently live in Canada. We're a very diverse nation with lots of immigrants coming in all the time with different cultural factors that play into what might happen. And I'm always keen to learn about what I can do better. But I understand so much more about this particular role now and the influence that it has short term term and long term
Mm-hmm.
in the whole dynamic of the family and how really critical it can be, and the effects, of course, that can happen on the father in the postpartum period as well. So I'm truly excited to hear more about this, and particularly on the cultural experiences as well. So thank you so
Yeah.
much,
Yeah.
Muswamba. This is going to be awesome. I'm so
Yes.
excited. Yes,
Thank you. Thank you
yes, yes,
for,
yes.
thank you
That's
for having
wonderful.
me.
Yeah. All right. Well, we should tell everybody how to get to you. I know one of the great things that you're going to be doing, of course, is you are going to be speaking live at our conference, which is
Mhm.
another opportunity for folks to come in and actually ask questions and just engage in this topic and share some of what their knowledge is and the experience that they're having in the field with the role of the father as well, and what some of these cultural differences might be. So do join Dr. Mwamba live at our conference. You can check out the time and the time zone and the date, of course, on our
Yeah.
website, which is at
Mhm.
goldlactation.com. Registration is open for this conference right now. It starts on March 29th, and we will look forward to seeing so many of you there. So thank you once again for joining us here today, Ms. Mwamba. It's just been lovely chatting with you.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And again, thank you to our audience for tuning in today. We'll look forward to having you back soon. Have a wonderful rest of your day, everyone. Bye-bye for now.
Bye bye.